马
那
路对小
鸡哥
队友
基本上也出不了线了。
没了，这个已经没了。
主舞台小黑对马入，看一看，基本功有差距，但是没关系吧？我觉得鸡哥这个小组他的发挥还行，把自己该打的东西都打出来了。比雷诺好，至少雷诺0-3。他妈不管怎么样比雷诺好。
明天你妈鸡哥，这你妈 TI 已经草台班子了，这边 TI 上更新的是鸡哥2-1 Showtime， 鸡哥2战2，2-2，你敢信？
这草台班子不知道在跟什么，我操！
not going to be able to scout for a long time, but he is going to be able to scout the later third nexus, which is going to start to pop questions into his mind as exactly what this is. Hellion gets kind of a perfect timing, in fact, when it comes down.
雷诺没有理论呢，雷诺已经显示被淘汰了，没有理论可能性。
对，
现在被淘汰的4个选手是 Trigger、沙师傅、把本和雷诺，这4个人是已经完全没有机会了。然后真正出现的人只有河马和索拉，剩下的人，比如说就李培南那个组，即便是庄格纳罗克都有可能被淘汰的，他就算他那么高。 他挣个5个小分都有可能被淘汰，
但可能性不大嘛，就是
很低，可能性很低，
对吧？可能性不大，
只能说有可能嘛，就是有可能，因为也没显示他出现。
Yesterday, for instance, but we are getting into the mid game of TVP, where Maru is very comfortable in his economic setup, getting to his actual third base on location.
但实际上，我觉得朗格纳罗克怎么都出得了线，我感觉是怎么都出得了线的。
We might finally start to get some dancing around in the middle of the map. We do have a little dance there as the Cyclones got aggressive on the depths. Stalkers blink forward. Tank now realizes I could be in a better position.
Yeah, these seconds are actually kind of important for herO because you don't
Maru
just
现在
want
门都
to
出
sit
不
at
了。
home and let Maru float over that orbital, immediately saturate that mineral line. Right now, Maru's got 53 SCVs. That's obviously too many for 2 bases. So Maru wants to float over that third, and just having your Stalkers there picking up a side.
哎，等夜蝶比赛吧。感谢邱老，现在我姻缘不顺的一个飞机，感谢兄弟。接下来的比赛，夜蝶是主舞台是吧？就这场结束就是夜蝶的比赛。
马老师，其实我说实话，妈了个蛋的，他就莫名其妙输给了鸡哥一场，本来他应该是3-0的。
夜蝶接下来是一场主舞台，一场第2舞台。主舞台对俄斯吹亚，这场结束就是夜蝶。
nicely done. Scan ahead to determine what composition awaits him. 2 Colossus, handful of sentries as a
double drop into the main. Double drop.
Yes, there's a double drop actually on top of a 4th base, but could go into the main and certainly threatening to pull a herO in both directions at the same time. I'm not sure there's a shield battery at the 3rd. There might be, but now.
哎呀，我他妈的真的是。
Well, it was there, not for very much longer.
牛牛哥哥半场开香槟，把自己开死了。
就感觉怎么这么一波过来，怎么感觉小黑友就感觉要遭重啊？家里面防的还不错，但正面怎么办？正面他光头强顶你没办法，你没有兵啊。 只有巨象没有用，完了，这3框被打穿了。自爆球接漂亮，再投下来继续秒自爆球。3框能不能守住啊？3框，他直接回去了，我靠！
He has certainly torn herO apart here. That's too many Colossus losses. I'm not even sure exactly if he recalled enough there. herO
这波打完之后，小黑已经很难打了，已经。
Especially with force field blocking out the choke too, but that was too much to ask for. Maru did an excellent job with the job in the main, and is now going to continue pressuring the third base.
There is a battery now though, we could potentially use battery overcharge to heal up that Nexus as well. The battery overcharge gets popped very early, Tank Siege is up far away, but the disruptor does go down. Maru once again
球强点，这个基地肯定掉啊。
battery overcharge could not save it. Is going to unload a few more units in the back of the main.
在里面还在投，我靠！
Is just in all sorts of trouble. We do have another Zealot counterattack on the other side of the map, but I'm afraid that these Zealots are simply never going to.
绕差也没绕到东西。
Main army has accomplished, and honestly, Maru could be perfectly happy right now and temporarily go home and be like, "I'll be back by the time this base is finished up again." Right before you get anything out of it, that's when I'm gonna show up probably with 2-2 bio, Vikings, Marauders. Thanks, it's a nightmare game for you.
又死一个嘴脸，歪了一下嘴啊！刚才。
莫德勒呀，对吧？马老师赢了。
hopefully before the stalker gets popped by the Widow Mine, and both times the timing didn't work out, so it's just the extra little painful moment there. Absolutely, Maru could wait a little while and come back later. It looks like he's waited long enough, which is approximately 5 seconds.
这局面应该问题不大了，这波投进去，小黑又没有东西可以等啊。换家，你换家怎么换嘛？直接走高台去了，把你出兵点全部占了。
Maru could come back with the army in the main base, and it's just so unlikely that hero's base trade is going to work, but it's the only thing he's got.
Yeah, desperate times call for desperate measures. That's probably what hero's thinking over here. But the man who went 4-0 in his Group A and 8-1 in map set, SCVs beat Stalkers.
这有2个围巾，也有输出的呀，这2个围巾。
There's very little anti-air. GG gets called. Maru with an excellent build order, great execution, and hero with a tiny slip up when he was retreating with those stalkers in the center.
他们这个地主其实基哥雷诺被淘汰了之后，其实形势还是相对来说比较明朗的。
感谢邱老先来我岛雪梅的一个飞机，感谢兄弟。
感谢兄弟啊！如果小黑有这场输给了马，2泰姆的对决将是决定出线权的一场比赛了。
对。
那大哥跟马路要打一场决定谁小组第一的比赛。
He is clearly playing up to the standards of macro that we expect, as well as the micro and some of the concaving of the Marauders on the third base. So of course, it was literally just about who was going to play most perfect from that situation. And hero absolutely didn't. Lost a couple of stalkers and was slightly out of position here. And the loss was too great. Arguably, he could have put the shield battery in a different location too, so it didn't immediately get bopped. Maru just played that start to finish almost like he was versing an AI, which is not to discredit hero, just saying that Maru really got to play his game.
我只能说这次卡托维兹的最关键的表现就是从马路身上抢了500刀回来。
你说的没错，
对不对嘛？
Maru aggression because Maru finds so much success against Protoss in those first 4 or 5 minutes. No matter really what the opening is, whether it's Cyclones, Marines, combination of Widow Mines and Marines, Maru can always find damage if he wants to.
这500刀很关键。
Even temporarily walled himself in on 2 bases, and meanwhile Maru is absolutely chilling on the other side of the map. Triple CC, even work account.
对，打出了风采，这是打出了风采。本来就大家都没想过基哥能在这个小组出现嘛。对，他打得还不错。
completely flipped the script, and instead of going this macro oriented, he could go very aggressive. And if then hero feels like, oh man, I was too safe. I took all my guesses. I even dropped the Robo Bay on 2 bases. Can't be doing that.
3 都不够，这你妈！
There's a chance that Maru punishes him for it immediately.
Anything that Maru does is intimidating, and that is the effect of Maru when he's playing at his absolute best. And here he is now.
不知道叶师傅上舞台会打得怎么样？叶师傅过一会儿就要上舞台了。
上舞台打的是他最重要的一场。
Top left side, we are looking at the main base of one of the 3 Protoss players in the group of death, representing Dragon Kaisi Gaming. This is herO. Where herO has a crazy amount of history with players like Dark, where it can also get a bit funny because they both play in so many of these online tournaments, and in quite a few of them there is serious money on the line. So of course,
对叶老师的确是第一次上这个舞台，的确不容易。
第一次出国比赛嘛，而且是。
对，鸡哥明天应该是上不了这个舞台了，已经。对，他跟这个雷诺的比赛感觉是无关没关系，已经没无所谓了嘛。
啊，$500还是可以打的呀。
不是，我就说他不可能上主舞台的。人家主舞台应该会让给马路打这个马路打大口。
He's going Nexus before Cybercore here, Zombie Grub. I feel like it's fallen a tiny bit out of the fashion or out of the meta, but he likes it, I guess.
Yeah, well, or might be hoping that he's not going to get punished for it. There's a Reaper coming out for Maru. It's not unexpected, but then also the change-up is a factory expand compared to the one racks that he showed in the last game.
上来不科技啊，那就是要一个骚扰。我发现马路的这个拳，就出门这一拳非常的硬，我就感觉。
And herO is not going to send out a probe to even attempt to scout this. Alright, he does choose.
马路就是，其实马路的内力是真的很厚的，他每一拳都很重。马老师这个汗手真的是，永远要垫块布，他跟那个古米火都是一样的，垫块布在上。
那古米刚才他妈的整块布都垫上去了，好吧？
对啊，垫块布。
Absolutely fantastic in playing against Stargate, and it's super important for herO to keep this hidden, because if you can keep Maru in the dark, and Maru doesn't know that this is a Stargate opening, there's a chance that Maru just makes double Widow Mine, puts it inside of a medevac, flies it to the other side of the map, and if 3 Phoenixes are waiting for it, well then herO is off to a fantastic start. But Maru
对，选手出汗这个事情很正常的。
他是汗手嘛，他手上汗比较重嘛。其实他可以搞个那种，这你妈就贴防滑贴就好了呀。然后他也习惯了，所以就无所谓。说不定没这个布他还打不来了。
说的没错。
inside of it, and then you just take it down, or worst case scenario you can pick up the Widow Mines. Well, if you have an Oracle that's across the map, hasn't scouted this quite quickly enough, and it's not going to come back in time to help out, and now the Reaper.
哎，没打到最后一下，看到了先知的很重要这个侦查。好了，这我在里面随便守。哎，先知不会被阴吧？他这个先知。
马老师他妈别的不行，他妈打韩国选手真的1等1的厉害。
了解，这是真了解。
又针对，拳又重。
I guess he feels that he has nothing better to do with his energy at the moment.
I guess so. The follow up to that. Well, we saw his eventual single Widow Mine drop. He's pretty much always going to be that barracks. Now the Raven is going to come out as well.
渡鸦，这个就刚才小 Q VS 里面那个凤凰骗了马老师，马老师以为小 Q 是一个凤凰巨像，如果先做凤凰巨像。
And the probe's gonna be ready to pull anyways and whatnot. He's gonna back away, and it's not like he has to scout. He knows exactly what his opponent has gone into.
Oh, he cancelled it. It was very far along. He cancelled it at the absolute last second. I think it's always nice to have a single Phoenix, because then Maru cannot just have a medevac idling behind your main base, whether it's a Widow Mine that was inside of it or a couple of Marauders later on. I think having a single unit is nice, but we do know that herO loves to have to, and maybe he feels that it's just annoying to have one Phoenix in the mix. Is going to keep on flying to the front. It's probably a reason for it. Quick 3 bases. Twilight Council is going to be the follow-up. Forges are incredibly important if you want to.
现在还差不多。
两边都在防守。
都在防。
都在防守。
Wonder when he's going to drop the robo since he's taking a lot of gases.
孙哥也是，孙哥打国内选手也很强啊。
When is it too much tech?
还好吧。
哎，马老师的这个 DPI 好像调的是700，我记得。妈也很奇葩，我操！
一般要么400，要么800。
对啊，他调的是700。然后屏幕移动也很慢，屏幕移动好像是20%。他们的屏幕移动都很慢。
Yeah, there's not necessarily a 5 drops going on and an army to control in a concave and whatnot, so it's still pretty quick. It's very precise, and it is as calm.
理赔男啊，理赔男也是之前是700，不知道现在是不是调回800了。丝滑，那马老师操作是丝滑的。
不，他习惯了就好了，这东西就是习惯问题，跟多少没关系。
Those colors are unreal, but yeah, Maru is incredibly clean.
两边到现在为止还没有进行一个接触。
Two medevacs right now as herO is going to try to do some scouting. Doesn't have a lot of energy, kind of misses it. Stalkers find a few of these units. Now, if you're herO right now, you see no medevacs and you only see like 8 Marines and Marauder. I want to say the alarm bells should go off a little bit, but obviously you have no idea where they should go off. Is it the left side? Is it a flank in the center of the map to pounce on the Stalkers? Or is it a drop that's going towards the top right?
Yeah, that's barely out of the Zonaga vision too. So it's that one, by the way. It's heading right towards the main base. Seems like he is predicting that this is going to be the most likely scenario, so a couple more Stalkers get warped in. But if the drop fully unloads, then that's not enough. But that is the key thing. The Stalkers
墙头啊！
take down one medevac, one still.
没有核电站墙头怎么可能投进去啊？这波马老师有点亏啊。 就换2团兵，就换了2个追点。
Pretty clean by herO. I think in the end, just having the cannon and the battery that makes your life so much easier. If it was only a battery, he'd be in trouble. If it's only a cannon, he's in trouble. The combination of those two static defenses really working well together. Maybe the Stalkers could have been a tiny bit closer towards the battery in the very.
对面感觉也没有太多机会啊，这波马老师很亏。
Quicker than Maru. Those kind of trades are completely okay. I think herO's going to be quite happy with that. He wants that Raven. He's going to get that.
哎，强换渡鸦漂亮。
Now herO turns around again, drops a bunch of force.
换了一个巨像，马老师不知道，估计不知道，各种跑。
来，1、2、3、4，还好还好，
还行吧，3个龙。
那马老师肯定也没亏这波。
paying attention to his camera that he's not exactly thrilled the way this has gone. The observer showed us just how efficient that resource trade in the main ended up being, and otherwise herO has made
来得及吗？我靠，这地雷。
Might fire again.
Yeah,
我感觉来不及啊，炸不出来。
They take a surprisingly long time to build. And you can obviously move it around a little bit as well, but then would still take a couple of shots. herO is going to lose a decent amount of probes. That could be 5 or 6 to a single shot. 5 it is. herO does get on top of the third though, and honestly doesn't have to run into this natural, of course, right? Enjoy your double robo bay plus 2 weapons while you're on 3 bases and try to.
炸了之后跑了，我靠。
Yeah, this is the time to display the same patience and just precision game that he showed versus Rainer.
小何说双线打得还行啊，双线。主要马老师也开不了矿，现在小何双线插了不少东西啊，插了7个农民。马老师也投，小何反应过来了。 哎呀，围农民啊，围地雷！哦呦，我靠，这他妈小 herO， 但是这个有反应吗？拉不开了，拉不开了。这个拉不开，没办法了，这个小herO直接一波了。
其实小黑没必要一波，马老师没3矿，他要一波干嘛嘛？他就在里面防守就好了。你3矿还没下来呢，慌什么？
他他妈不要你开了呀，直接弄你。
这个兵力马老师有点厚的，小黑未必打进去。
But you cannot blink forward into that many Widow Mines and into that many Marauders. Even if you have a bunch of Zealots in the mix, first few Ghosts, I believe, are on the battlefield already as well. So an EMP could land on the sentries or could just take away the shields from the Zealots. Like, herO has played a really good game. I think he's in an excellent spot, but he definitely needs to respect this army, because if you make a blink, that's a little bit too ambitious. What I love about Maru is how decisive he is as well. And what makes Maru Maru is that he's incredibly quick in realizing which fights he can and cannot take. Yeah. And if herO goes a bit too far forward, Maru is going to punish him immediately.
That's very true. herO has gone up to 4 Colossus, by the way, guys. And with this forward position, if he rallies his disruptors forward, he'll be able to.
哎，这个地雷 哇靠，不农民！这波要来了，破农民，看围巾，哎呦，自爆球炸到一下，追猎跳下去点围巾。哇，这巨像有点输出啊，强行过去点巨像，
能点掉吗？点不掉，他都顶住了。
完了，马老师1比1了。
是吗？
这样都
是吗？
啊？
是吗？哎呦，没炸到！马老师那么刚啊，这样去冲。
农民没了呀，马老师。
马老师没农民呢，只有37个农民经济崩了。1比1，小黑马上闪烁引刀也好了。是吗？不是吗？是的，不是的。哎呀，解说就是这样的。
很正常的，这个很正常。
刚才这种局势瞬息万变。没了，1比1了，极其1比1。我靠，他妈的，下面的人已经吃起来了。
他们现在应该是晚上的5、6点吧，
对，
差不多吧。
7个小时嘛，你往下搞7个小时，差不多5、6点的样子。
But there is no second aggression, actually, so the shield bot overdrive was just very convenient. And then the almost gigantic mistake that could have changed things around, but not quite. So, yeah, herO displaying his own really fine PVT here. And so game 3 comes down.
IEM 为什么不送汉堡？这里吗？我咋知道的？
那我就问一句，他如果星际场馆送，那他别的场馆是不是也要送？对不对？
你说的没错。
而且从观众的数量来说，他要送也不会送星际的，你们这么想就对的。
Whether you kill something or not, you're dealing damage to the Terran because the Colossus can just keep on firing.
木叶的金色闪光，小 hero。
Yeah, exactly. It's a form of crowd control. In the midst of a battle, and even if there wasn't necessarily a battle that happened at that particular point, that was initiated by herO, and wisely apparently did win.
国外汉堡不好吃。
哎呀，他国外的汉堡，他妈国外的那些人也喜欢吃呀。
对啊。你到国内来做汉堡都是改良的，包括披萨这种都改良过的呀。
他们现场在放那个魔爪的广告。
Big moment for both of these players. Both of them currently working with 2 wins and 1 loss in the group. If you win here 3-1, you pretty much guarantee yourself top 12 in this tournament. You still have a chance to potentially win the group. You never know how Dark is going to play in his remaining matches. If you lose here, most likely still in a fine spot to make it out, but it is definitely
他们赞助 IEM 估计还是花了蛮多钱的。
他们应该是这种，就是一起赞助嘛，就是你所有项目都一起赞助掉嘛。
对啊，
对吧？他可能有些，比如说那个 CS:GO 里边还有什么那个快递啊什么的也在赞助嘛，那个什么DHL 这些都在赞助，但是他们就没有买星际这个包，应该是。像魔爪可能就是把星际的包也一起买了，可能就是。
PVT Grand Finals herO against Maru. That's going to be pretty sick because that's really what it looked like. herO was the best PVT player on the planet.
星际观众不少，星际观众还可以，说实话，星际观众，妈的，就你赞助的级别加上你这个就是观众的数量啊什么的，其实性价比还可以的。你赞都赞助了，那你再加一点，其实区别也不大，对不对嘛？
对的，
你都本来赞助了嘛，你再多加一点就也没多少了，但其实做出来的数据还可以的，而且很稳定。
then yeah, absolutely. Could be one of these guys actually making that first place and right into the round of 8, that qualifying match for the World Championship. They got a Zealot on the way as this probe is scouted.
天赋晚快而已，那是的呀。
那
像 herO 这种，他做的比赛越多，其实对他来说成本就越低嘛。他比如说，如果在 IEM 上面他再加一个，比如说 DreamHack 以后他再加一个项目，对他来说成本就比单个做要低很多。就 herO 这次是把这个 OW 的全球的比赛啊，他是跟暴雪，他从暴雪那边把授权买过来了嘛。那就是说以后 OW 的比赛也是 herO 来做，他的做法可能就跟这个星际啊这些很像，就是在 DreamHack 的某几站上面他加一个这个 OW 的比赛，你全球的选手去打就好了。大概就是这样的一个方式。
他不可能
单独去搞个 OW 联赛的呀。
对，
他就加个项目嘛，加项目的成本会低很多，因为规模效应就会低很多。你反正他妈去都去了，场地也租了，这些酒店也租了，对吧？舞台也搭了，你再多个项目而已。OW 还是有人看的，你们也觉得 OW 好像没人看，但其实他还是有人看的。但 OW 的观众主要还是在国内，主要集中在 B 站那边。B 站有一个他们也是有自己的一个圈子嘛，这种你魔兽星际一也有人看的，也有自己圈子的。那么国内这种什么搞97格斗啊什么的，都有呀，红警都有人看，那么都有自己的小圈子的呀。
还行吧，小时候这几波还可以。
小何这两波烧的还不错哦。
哎呀，这导弹车来了，这两个可能都要死在这儿。死一个还行吧。
Yep, but it is still a scout. You see a cyclone and you're like, all right, I don't have to worry about 3 racks. Unlikely that you went for a super quick 3rd command center. Maru, because he lost a Reaper.
红警最低40万播放，比星际高多了。有吗？我就不太了解了。
这不了解，反正红警
这个我不是很了解，红警圈子我不是很了解。但红警没有什么成体系的赛事嘛，就是这种全国成体系赛事，这个倒没有什么，这个我倒不是很了解。
老板赞助就打一个比赛嘛，就这样的一个
啊，对，这有可能是这种。但是如果你们以 B 站的这个播放量来说圈子大小，我觉得这个 B 站的播放量，妈的推不推区别还是挺大的。感谢空虚一世的一个飞机，感谢兄弟，
感谢兄弟啊！
带节奏没带节奏啊！他妈的，这不就是这种平台不就是有人推荐？妈的，那这个数据就高很多嘛？这有啥带节奏的嘛？那要叔叔是你爹的话，他妈的你他妈年年都是你百大好吧？那叔叔想让你成百大，那不是你就成百大了。
哎呦，家里面互烧，小时候好像没反应啊，
还可以吧？两个人对捅了，
现在反应过来了，6个怎么还行？他闪现跳点了，接，绝技，这是每个顶级神族都会的绝技。
妈，每个顶级神族都会的绝技，你妈个鸡！
干嘛？顶级选手呀，这没有
跳上去接回来是吧？双闪。
对啊，这难道有错吗？
Plus 8 SCVs have also down for Maru, and that auto turret number 2 isn't going to happen for a little while.
That stuff in the main is going to be more difficult to
这
defend.
看看一下，如果跳上去，再把这兴奋剂再打一次。哇靠 ！Sad 会不会 ？Sad 不是顶级甚至
，Sad 会，但是有点慢。
对，
就别人可能1、2、3、4就接完了，Sad 可能是1、2、3、4，就稍微慢了一点，比你们想的。
你说什么？你说这种要跳，再接。你说巅峰时期的版本会不会肯定也会的这种，对不对嘛？
哎呦，两个这个2个你妈海警方有点伤啊，如果打掉，小黑感觉拖不住啊，这个拖不住。继续拖，继续拖还可以，导弹车点掉了。
鸡哥也会，鸡哥只是说鸡哥的这个操作跟Sad可能比赛的稍微快一点，但是呢也没有。
哎，跟你说了呀，小黑是1、2、3、4，鸡哥是1、2、3、4，Sad 是1、2、3、4，就大概就这种节奏嘛。马老师欧了呀，直接欧了，诺森德了。
不能在这样搞下去了，没错的，木加洛森没错。小哥家里面什么都没有。啊，主要兴奋剂好了。
小黑准备包这波，不一定包得下来哦，直接先把坦克解决了，把坦克先秒了，双打把坦克打了，然后往回退，
慢慢靠操作，
慢慢耗了，这个时候就慢慢耗。他其实只要把机枪耗完就行了。
这个3矿可以放啊，3矿
耗呗，反正对方是 all in 的，对吧？我靠，还有3个光头装，小黑现在只能慢慢耗，不朽出来，把光头能不能一个一个耗？哎，还有那么多兵啊，他感觉打不过啊，小黑。
打不过。
他为什么要抢手这片？哦，他上面有兵营，他上面有兵营，他没办法，他一定要守一下。妈的，马入这种 all in 真的是我靠了，这都小黑这坨农民有啥用呢？
没有用。
哎呦，新出一个不朽，但是没有棱镜的，如果有棱镜，说不定还有点机会。
这闪光尽力了啊！
只能说马老师这个 all in 果断啊，果断。哎，上面还有个核电站，继续耗，但是没用啊！小马入家里面还有那么多农民，没得了。
马入农民经济多了，
对，没得了。我只能说 order 真的是太及时了，这种比赛经验，
而且那么多有那么多运输机，我看到很多 all in 的人，比如说李培南，他妈的每次 all 完之后没几个运输机，
鸡哥的含金量还在提高，
没错。
马老师到现在都想不通怎么会输给鸡哥的，
但输了就是输了。
GG。
It's Maru who will improve his record to 3 wins and 1 loss here in the group of death, as only dark is left for Maru.
那下一场就是主舞台的夜蝶对阿斯崔亚。明天陈强哥要跟小黑争夺一个出线名额，他们2个反正明天也要打。
Everything that you would expect from Maru in his top form. herO not looking bad either, of course, but not quite able to pick up the 2-1 that he was looking for.
小herO也是2-2嘛，现在。大个3-0，对吧？大个3-0，马入3-1。小herO 2-2，陈强哥2-2，那就小herO跟陈强哥他妈的谁赢谁出线呗。
对，然后这边最新消息啊。herO 马上就2-0 2-0 Skillos 了。
不是 herO 的比赛你就不用去关心，他是马肯定出现的。 他这个小组就看都不用去看他，他你妈铁定小组第一，你就不要关心他就完了。感谢裘老现在诸事不宜的一个飞机，感谢兄弟，
感谢兄弟啊！
芬兰仔真的，他你妈的哪天不进4强，他妈都是爆冷，这个逼打的太稳了。感谢球奶 WCT 考不上教师编的一个飞机，感谢兄弟。
感谢兄弟，你别说8进4，他还是有可能会倒的，好吧？
啊，对呀、就是我就说他8进4，比如说被爆冷输掉嘛。
这个逼呢是这样的，就小组赛它必出现，这个是没
悬念的呀。然后到了淘汰赛，他有可能会翻车，这个是真的。
对，但翻车概率也不高。
他小组赛是必出现的，这个人。好了，感谢球奶我 CWJ 今年考试不过的飞机，还有球奶今年事事不顺的飞机，还有球奶 WCT 考不上教师编的飞机，感谢兄弟。
这边地主另一场，
哎呦，我可能一会儿又没电了，我换一下雷克，孙哥你先说一下好吧？
啊，雷诺2比1战胜了大可。那大可也是3-1，现在马路马路拿下这场，现在也是3-1啊。
조정 선수를 위해서 이렇게 또 관중들께서 이렇게 막 이름을 연호하고 계신데 사실은 첫 패 이후에 좀 이렇게
哎呦，兄弟们，我试试这个麦克风，现在声音怎么样？
첫 패 이후에 어떻게 이제 극복을 해내셨는지 일단 먼저 묻고 싶습니다.
일단 주변 사람 게이머 분들이 되게 위로를 많이 해줘가지고.
哎，勋哥，我把这个麦克风插到这个上面的，插到电脑上了。 有问题吗？
没问题，
没区别是吧？哦，那以后我就插这上面就好了，我就不用插声卡上。这个插电脑上它就可以自动充电，边充电边那个边用嘛。然后我有2个这个我没声音，如果我这个没电了，我就可以换一个。 就是我这个发射器没电了，我就可以换一个，没区别就行，没区别就行。我自己听一下，电了我就可以换一个，就是我这个发射
这边 IEM 给出来的分数是多少
？OK， 那这个挺好，这样。
사실 역시나 김준호 선수가 역시나 쉽지 않은 상대였기 때문에 계속
声卡充不了电呀，声卡怎么充得了电？
이번에 김준호 선수 상대하실 때 좀 어떤 마음가짐을 갖고 이제 임하셨는지 궁금하네요.
그냥 별 생각 없이 편하게.
我换个发射器好了，免得他到时候没电。
그래도 잘 풀린 것 같아서 좀 편하게 한 게 다행인 것 같습니다.
So I didn't have much thinking. Honestly, I just tried to YOLO it because
你看他们现在就6点半嘛，对吧
？1 of the best players in the world, so I tried to YOLO.
1个小时差不多。
I think that went well.
换个发射器，我换好了，这样的话。 我这样的话，我就可以不用换那个耳机了。刚好，你先说着，我看看我儿子温度降下来没？刚还没降，我操。
일단 센 선수 3명을 이겼는데. 아직도 남아 있다는 게 좀.
哎呀，我靠！我他妈戴这个耳机也很难受。妈了个鸡的！
더 편하게 할 수 있을 것 같아서 재밌는 경기 나올 것 같아요.
I mean, I still can't believe that I have one big opponent left, even though I beaten 3 giants.
现在没有晋级啊，现在已经，我觉得已经很难出现了。命运不掌握在自己手中。 今天我们还是一样啊，把这个我们会把中国选手的比赛全部播完啊，今天就结束了。
There is no shortage of competition when it comes to this group, but he's able to prevail here against herO to be able to get himself in a spot where now, because he's going up against Dark, it does feel like those two are pretty much guaranteeing themselves spot. And then we now have, of course, herO versus Showtime, which is very pivotal tomorrow coming into that. But anyway, before I get ahead of myself, let's talk about this series here. Maru back on board here to be able to get himself this victory pick.
Yeah, instinctively pulling the SCVs when needed at the end there to finish it off.
He was YOLOing, it's okay.
It was YOLO.
李培南等鸡哥一起上飞机，他们不会回来的，他们肯定是到我看看这个比赛到什么时候结束。12号。12号的话就是初2、初3，对吧？他们会初4的飞机回来。
Maru does have blips sometimes in Katowice, I think it's fair to say.
Yeah, absolutely.
对，他们应该初4的飞机回来。
Finals, right? Which is pretty impressive, some might say. Overall, Maru, of course, an absolute beast. It's interesting how this group is now going to shape up, though, because I guess it gets decided with a Protoss versus Protoss. And I was just looking at the head-to-head score. These guys have been about 50-50 over the years, Showtime and herO. It's actually a very difficult one to predict.
Who's got that clutch factor on the big stage? I mean, it's such a scary matchup.
马路，我看看，马路应该是稳出线了，马路应该稳出线。他现在3-1嘛，这是正4，他最后一轮打大克。他肯定出现了，这个没有悬念的。就至于是小组第1还是小组第2，小组第1、小组第2的问题了。就至少是前2，马路至少前2，马路跟大可都出现了，都是前2，他们两个。然后小herO和陈江哥出一个。现在其实最不明了的还是 B 组 ，B 组的话，B 组的话这边。朗昂戈纳洛克，朗昂洛应该也是铁出了，然后 Q2、Clem、李培南还有 BV 啊不那个邦尼。Q2 下轮打3，Q2 下轮打8本，应该也出了，那就等于是邦尼、李培南、Clem 3个出一个。
So you've got 2 really meaningful
matches.
You get the Protoss fighting for their life, the Terran and the Zerg fighting for the best spot.
No, absolutely. And of course, you know, if you get to that #1 spot, you get the round of 8 instantly. That means you're into a qualifying match for the World Cup, which is not, I mean, as if there aren't enough.
今天我准备看他怎么死的，他怎么有没有兄弟可以跟我说他怎么输给 Q 的吗？怎么感觉就一下就输了嘛？
Do well at Dallas. That means you don't have to think about your points in the global standings or regional standings.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. The quarterfinals here are absolutely critical for the players that aren't yet qualified, and at this point it's only Clem and herO. So those games are going to be played, I believe, on, I want to say Sunday, right? Some of them actually may be played tomorrow. I'm not 100%
the quarterfinals?
Yeah.
他今天但凡4场比赛拿1个小分，我觉得就2场比赛拿1个小分也不会现在那么被动。这个现在太被动了。
It's going to be awesome.
Well, of course, our next match is going to be Astraea going up against Firefly. Thanks, gents. It's time for a break. We're really changing the dial to crazy as we get into PvP between Astraea and Firefly. See you after this.
Intel Extreme Masters Katowice is brought to you by Monster Energy, the United States Air Force, and Intel.
跟Clem的第2盘失误了1秒，可能心态